welcome to my channel. It is Wednesday the 17th of October, which means it's day 17 of Vlogtober, and you can tell from the title it's a Slimming World food related tag video. So I'm starting off this tag video and I've created a list of questions that are basically about food. One of my favourite things, obviously apart from my children and Darren, yeah, let's get started. So first question is, I wrote these down because I can't remember them. My favourite speed fruit and vegetable. I think my favourite fruit would probably be strawberries. Just because they're just great topped on treat bowls, or like, I mean, any berries like raspberries or blueberries, but I really like strawberries, especially like in the summer months where they're a lot sweeter. They're just really nice, like chopped up, put them on top of your cereal, chopped up, put in your treat bowl. You could even pop them in a Tupperware and take them with you. They don't last that long. They can get a bit squashed if they get too hot. But yeah, I think they are probably one of my favourites, and you can get them, like, they're not as nice all year round. They are better in the summer months, but you can get them all year round, like most fruit and vegetables you can as well now. So strawberries, yeah, they are probably one of my favourite. I do like a strawberry. And my favourite vegetable for a speed food would have to be cauliflower. I really like cauliflower. Some people are not that keen on it, but me, I really like it. I love cauliflower rice, and that is what I absolutely love. Like, I've used cauliflower rice for years. Just making it myself, I just blitz it in the food processor, or sometimes if I'm feeling really lazy and I can't be bothered to wash the food processor, I will actually grate it. And then I will fry it in some fry light. You can put it in the microwave. I just find that it's got no flavour because I do like to add a bit of paprika or some sort of, like, even just salt and pepper or chili flakes, just to give it a bit of seasoning. And yeah, it just also gives it more of a nutty taste as well when you fry it. And I would just use fry light, I don't use anything else, and it just is really nice. I also like mashing it, or I buy the frozen cauliflower a lot, and I literally just put some in either the microwave and steam, but usually I've got a steamer on my hob that I have out all the time because it reminds me to use it, and I just steam some frozen cauliflower. And I have that always on the side. It's just really handy, especially like if you're doing an SP day. I just find it really bulks it up. And you can mash it up as well if you want to, if you like cook it and like steam it and then just sort of mash it up, so it's more like a mashed potato. But I just like it, just eating it as chunks rather than mashing it up. But I do also like cauliflower rice as well. So I think that's probably, I mean, I love vegetables. I love spinach, I love mushrooms, I love peppers. You can do so much with them, but I think cauliflower has to be one of my main because I do love a cauliflower rice. Question 2 would be my favourite Slimming World friendly breakfast, lunch and dinner, or breakfast, dinner and tea. Some parts of the country prefer to call it dinner at lunchtime and tea, but down south we or I say dinner, lunch and dinner. You know what I mean. So my favourite breakfast has to be, and this I have loved, which is quite weird because there are plenty of other breakfasts you could have that are Slimming World friendly that is probably a lot nicer, but it's just something I really like, and I've had it for years, way before I started Slimming World. I don't know why, I just really like it. It's basically spinach, so basically fresh spinach, baby spinach preferably, that's in a bowl. I then boil some eggs. I like them when they're like that soft / hard boiled. So what do they call that? Half boiled? I don't know. Eggs where it's just starting to go, it's gooey, but it's still like firmish. And like when you break it, the egg still oozes out. That's nice. Or hard-boiled eggs is fine. I usually just bunk hard-boiled eggs because it's easier just to let them cook in rather than keeping an eye on time when I'm getting the kids and everything ready, get their packed lunches and that done. And then I have 2 hard-boiled eggs. I then also may fry, if I've got time, fry some mushrooms and bacon, or if I haven't got time, I'll just chop up some ham instead. And I top that all on the top of the spinach, and I use sriracha sauce. Now, I have had lots of questions about this on here and on Instagram when I've mentioned it, So I'm going to show you. This is sriracha sauce. For a tablespoon, it is half a sin, and you can find it in most supermarkets now stock it, and it's in the, like, where the Oriental Asian cooking, that kind of, where the soy sauces are, oyster sauces and that, it's usually around there. It's a brand called Flying Goose, but yeah, most places do sell it, and I love it. It's, again, I've used this for a long time now, before I was doing Slimming World, and I stopped using it when I started Slimming World, and then I saw Fopaholic talking about it, and I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, like, because I knew you had to sin it. I've got this thing about sinning sauces, but actually I now incorporate a lot of sins, like a lot of my sins now are useful sauces because I do like them. So yeah, the sriracha sauce is one of my favourite. It has got a kick to it. I can't remember how much it is, but it's about £2, £3, but it lasts for ages because you do only need a drizzle. I literally use probably a teaspoon, but I do count it as half a sin, but it's up to you. But I always count it because I've usually got enough sins to use for it. But it's really nice. It has got a kick though. It's also nice on like salads and things like that if you just want to sort of spice it up. My favourite lunch would be, now this can chop and change all the time, so I'm doing this as now. At the moment I'm really loving wedges, chips and wedges at lunchtime. I'm talking cheesy chips here. So I literally just get a jacket potato size potato, chop it into wedges, spray it with fry light, put some seasoning. Of course, I use the Spice and Tice one. It's my favourite one, but you can use the JD seasonings, or you can get, I think Schwartz do a chip seasoning as well. I'm not that keen. I found it a bit, yeah, I didn't find it. I just found it a bit too paprika-y. There was too much in there, but you could just put paprika on it, or just salt and pepper, and spray it with fry light. Bung it in the Actifry, or in the oven if you've got time. So lay all the chips out on a baking tray and pop it in the oven. I think you can literally have to parboil it, put it on high for 40 minutes. Just keep an eye on them in case they burn, and they perfect. And if you do it in the Actifry, you only do it on like for 20 minutes. I pop them in a bowl. I get my Healthy Extra A cheddar. I use a low fat cheddar, and I usually use half Healthy Extra A, so 20 grams, and I grate it with one of the fine graters, and I sprinkle it on the top. If you want to use 40 grams and we'll have it really cheesy, if you've got your Healthy Extra A there, then do, or you want to sin it, whatever, then that's fine. And then I pop it under the grill quickly, or in the oven if I've got the oven on, just to let the cheese melt. And then with it, I make a salsa salad. Now I love my salsa salads. I saw, who is it on Instagram? Mrs. Mummy Wright. Now I've got one here. This is how I make my salsa salad, but you can do it yourself. It's just basically getting all the pieces that kind of square shape. And this is what I use. I pay for this myself. I'm not sponsored or anything like that. It's Brifton is the make. There, I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if will that come around the wrong way. I don't know. But yeah, I got it on Amazon, but there are other brands on there as well. And basically, you have some plasticky bits here. You've got 2 grids. This is one that I use, which is the bigger one of the 2. There was a slightly smaller one, and I literally use this all the time now for pasta dishes and things like that. I literally pop it on there and just pop it down, and it saves so much time, and it's brilliant for making a salsa salad. And I make that with red onion, tomatoes, cucumber, peppers, basically whatever I fancy in my salsa salad. I put them all in there, and then that's it. And I might put maybe a bit of 7 Thai spice on it, but usually I just leave it as it is if I'm just doing cheesy chips, which I'm thinking about I'm going to have now for lunch. And yeah, that is it. That's all I do, and that's all I use to make my salsa salad. But as I said, you can just chop it up yourself if you don't have one of these. And I then once the cheese has melted on the potato wedges, I then sprinkle the salsa salad on the top, and I add some lighter than light mayonnaise, or you can just use normal mayonnaise and season it accordingly. I usually use a good couple of tablespoons of lighter than light mayonnaise, so it's 1 sin. and I measure it out with a tablespoon, like a proper measuring spoon, because it's a level tablespoon. So that is my favourite lunch at the moment. So chips and wedges with a salsa salad. My favourite dinner, again, this can change, but it's always back to my favourite, creamy Cajun pasta. If I want a nice carby comfort food, yeah, creamy Cajun pasta. And there is a recipe, I have got a recipe, I'll try and, if I remember, link it below. But it is really, really yummy. Next question is my favourite low sin savoury snack, and that has to be crisps. I do like crisps, they are my weakness. So now I buy the low fat potato snacks because I kind of find that they're not that moreish. I have one packet and that usually that is fine. I tend to take them with me when I go out somewhere, like a picnic or something, because I know then I can't have any more. I find that if I have normal crisps, which are higher sins anyway, things like just ready sorted, they are higher sin allowance, I always want more. So I find the potato snack ones, I don't think they're more filling, they're lower sins, and they just, I don't know, I guess you get more in a pack because they're basically made of air. My favourite ones at the moment, but they can vary all the time, and there's no particular flavour, I just like all of them. It's the hula puffs. These are salt and vinegar ones. They're really nice and they're not too salt and vinegary. I really like the beef ones they do of these, and I can't remember where I got them from. Probably maybe Tesco's, or it might have been Poundland, but they are really nice, the beef ones. And the plain ones are really nice. I just prefer the salt and vinegar and the beef ones. And they are 3.5 sins. I think the ready salted ones are also 3.5 sins. I think they all are. And you get quite a good selection, and they're basically like hula hoops, but they're puffed up. But I prefer them than hula hoops actually. So they are probably my favourite at the moment. The next question is my favourite healthy extra B. My favourite healthy extra B would have to be, now you think it'd be grape nut, but actually I like oats, and that's probably my favourite way to use them because they're quite versatile. You can make overnight oats, you can make oat bakes, oat waffles, you could do like an oat pancake, so you use oats with the with egg and then just use either sweetener, or you can sin some banana and make oat pancakes that way, and using some almond milk or normal milk. And yeah, they are really, I just find them quite versatile. You can do a lot with them. So that would be why. Whereas other healthy extra Bs, I mean, I like the hi-fi bars, I do have them a lot as my healthy extra B, but I just find oats, even though I'm intolerant to oats, I just find that I can do a lot more with them. So that is probably my best healthy extra B, and they're cheap as well. My favourite Slimming World friendly pudding / dessert, it would have to be grape nut cheesecake. And I think that's why I think because of this answer you would have thought I would choose grape nut, but actually no, I chose oats because they're more versatile and you can do a lot more with them. But I do like grape nut, and this is the only way that I would use a grape nut, is 40 grams of grape nut as my healthy extra B. I think otherwise they are 7.5 sins. And you can just make your cheesecake. I've put loads of recipes on here before. I know KSW's got lots of recipes, and basically my best way to make them is, so it's 40 grams of grape nut in the bottom with a tablespoon of hot water. Just be careful because it can get a bit watery otherwise, and making sure it's just boiled water because then it softens the grape nut. I then use your teaspoon, which I think is 1.5 sins of Lotus Biscoff. Again, I slightly melt it so that I just find it spreads a little bit more easier when I mix it around with the grape nut. And then I use the quark, which is the cheesecake bit. So tub of quark, or half a tub if you're using a big tub, or however much you want. And I use a tablespoon of Nutella, or I sweeten it with either an options hot chocolate for 2 sins, Nutella is 4 sins, or sometimes I just use the skinny syrups. Mix it all around. put that in the top of the grape nut, and then I top it with some frozen fruit, and most of the time it's frozen cherries because they are my favourite. Before Slimming World, I used to sit there and munch on them, so do be mindful because they are not a speed food. They are very moreish if you like cherries, and they are nice if you put them in a grape nut cheesecake, pop it in the fridge, and by the time you come to have it for your dessert, they're just gooey and lovely. What do I mainly use my Healthy Extra A for? Now for me, most days I will use it for my milk, for my coffee. And I tend to use only half of it, and the other half I will have like maybe some cheese, like if I'm doing cheesy chips or my creamy Cajun pasta, you need to use a cheese in that. So I tend to just save it for that. But most of the time, every day, is almond milk. And what I'm using at the moment, I have been using the Alpro Long Life. I tend to get whatever is on offer between the two. They're both long life milks, and because I buy them in bulk, because Lidl's and Aldi don't stock them. So I have been, at the moment I'm using Blue Diamond Almond Breeze. You can have 875 millilitres of this as your Healthy Extra A. Otherwise the Alpro unsweetened milk for long life, you can have the whole lot, you can have a litre. Be careful because the fresh Alpro almond unsweetened is not a full litre you can have. I think it's like 600 mils, but again that's still enough. So just check the app, because like everything I've mentioned on here, do check the app to protect your weight loss. But yes, I've used this one for a long time. When I did Veganary January 2017, this is the one that I found works best in coffee and tea. However, since then I've used the Almond Long Life, and I kind of prefer that, but I do really like this one as well. So it's I just get whatever is on offer, because it's not that cheap, but it does last for a long time, because I do only use like 8, well, I usually measure out. If I'm using this one, I do measure it out, because the other one I know if I've used half basically. And I tend to have a few teas and coffees, but I tend to have black coffees now and again as well, so I don't always need it. But that's the way I usually use my Healthy Extra A. My favourite SP friendly dinner or tea, depending what you call it. For me, my favourite SP dinner has to be just a curry. I do love a curry. Yeah, I do love a curry. So I usually use Spice and Spice curries, but I know, like, again, JD Seasons sell them, but also you can just use like medium or hot curry powder, whatever you prefer. Tikka curry powder, you can get them all the supermarkets, and just make a curry. And if you want to make it a creamy curry, you can add some quark, because that's SP friendly. And then I just serve it again with some cauliflower rice. I do love a curry, especially this time of year where it's getting a little bit colder in the evenings. You want something a little bit hot to warm you up, so things like curries and chilies and stews are like on the menu all the time. So for me it would be a curry, especially like on a Friday, if I want to do an SP day on a Friday, which is usually unlikely because it's way day on Fridays. I kind of want to have some carbs, but you want something to, like, you know, chill out and have an SP friendly dinner, you can. And even when I'm doing a curry and I'm not doing an SP day, I sometimes do just have cauliflower rice because I do like it. So that would be my favourite SP friendly dinner. Okay, and the last question is my favourite low-sin chocolate or sweet. And I say that because some people don't like chocolate, so either or basically. And I think my favourite has to be Curly Wurly. Yeah, it is 6 cents for a Curly Wurly, and this is the ones, you can get these in the multi-pack. This is the 26 gram one. Oh, it's a bit floppy. I've got a floppy Curly Wurly. Yeah, it's 26 gram one, and they are 6 cents. And what I do is, usually I keep them in the fridge, or like I pop it in the fridge in the morning, or you can pop them in the freezer. I find if you pop them in the freezer and you want to, like, if you cut them up beforehand, pop them in like a little freezer bag, pop them in the freezer, and then you've got like little bits to bite off rather than having to try and bite it off and chew it that way. So I just tend to have them in little bits, but otherwise pop them in the freezer and they're just a little bit more chewy. But that is my favourite, the good old Cadbury's Curly Wurly for 6 cents. So that is all my questions answered. I hope you've enjoyed this. I'm now going to tag 3 people if they would like to join in, and the first person I'm going to tag is Rachel from Bales 1986 SW. I will link everyone below in the drop down. I need a lot of linking today. The second person I'm going to tag is Jo from Jo Vlogs. She's rejoined Slimming World recently and she's feeling all motivated and everything, so hopefully this will give her some re-inspiration for her. And the third person I'm going to tag is the lovely Kate SW. So those are my 3 people that I'm going to tag. So that's Rachel from Bales 1986 SW, Jo from Jo Vlogs, and Kate, who's Kate SW. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Do let me know if you don't have a channel or anything. Do let me know what your favourites are, if there's anything you want to share, and I shall speak to you all very soon. Take care everyone. Bye.